Do you think the president took advantage of the situation, or that was just the plan for the day?
Let me tell you. And I'm saying this with my chest.
Yes.
He took advantage of the situation. Okay, maybe that was just the plan for the day. But did he have to sign them on that day?
On that day, yes.
On that day. And you see, they said he was told that Baba had passed on earlier in the morning. They say at 6 or something. And then it's like 11, this man is signing bills into laws.
It makes it look very suspect.
Utu wako uko wapi?
I know.
Ndugu.
We are mourning. All of us have
All of us are mourning. We've stopped working. The economy is at a standstill. But you have a pen. You can sign things. Anyway, I like the fact that Kenyans are propagandists. I like the fact that it's very hard for something to pass. Tupitangi hivi kwa macho. Like inakujanga hivi. And then we have to comment.
Yes.
And I like the fact that we always take the extreme tangents. To say, we are not accepting.
We are not boarding.
We are not boarding. And people are like, you took advantage of the death of the father of democracy.
Yes.
You know, I usually say we know this government is doing badly because we made Lindian activists.
Imagine.
She is so unproblematic. The other person that I have liked the trajectory of her post on X is Misuse. Like, sometimes I'm like,
I will go like.
But even her, she's one of those calm people. And when you see such people now becoming activists, you now start to get the place of social media activism. Another good example that I would hate to be censored is Larry Madowo. Larry Madowo, I think, injects with a big needle. Larry Madowo injects like there is no injection that is yake ni ya penicillin.
Him is like, you know what? Zaidi, another one.
Another one. Hi guys, welcome to the rundown. My name is Mihala Barasa.
And I'm Ndanu Nzuko.
And today, what are we handling today, Ndanu?
Today we're going to be looking at what's inside the contentious Cybercrimes Act. Yes. So a few weeks ago, when we lost our father of democracy in Kenya, Baba, the president that morning signed into law some bills that had been pending in Parliament, and one of the bills was the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. So before we get into that, what's your opinion? Do you think the president took advantage of the situation, or that was just the plan for the day?
Let me tell you. And I'm saying this with my chest.
Yes.
He took advantage of the situation. Okay, maybe that was just the plan for the day. But did he have to sign them on that day?
On that day, yes.
On that day. And you see, they said he was told that Baba had passed on earlier in the morning. They say at 6 or something. And then it's like 11, this man is signing bills into laws.
It makes it look very suspect.
Utu wako uko wapi?
I know.
Ndugu.
We are mourning. All of us
are mourning. We've stopped working. The economy is at a standstill. But you have a pen. You can sign things. Anyway.
Kenyans. Anyway. R.I.P. Baba. We're going to miss you.
Really, we are.
Yeah, especially for the Gen Zs and the rest of us who like maandamano. We're going to miss you. Yeah. All right. So, I think today Mihala is going to be
to
be the host.
Nimerushiwa. This is how it happens. Get yourself better best. I'm lying. So maybe for a start, we'll start with what is the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act meant to do. The first enactment of this law was in 2018. Yeah. So the parent act to this amendment is called the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act number 5 of 2018. It should be remembered that when this act came into force, I think immediately it came into force, there was a group of bloggers that that were against around like 26 sections. I can't remember which sections they were, but they were against like 26 sections of the Act. But in 2020, the High Court declared those sections constitutional, and the High Court was like, no, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act is solid as it is.
Okay.
And the law came into force. So what was that law meant to do? One, it established offenses for unauthorized interference or interception of computer systems. So if you misuse a computer in any way, shape, or form, the Computer Misuse the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act dealt with that. It dealt with issues of false publication, cyber harassment, cyber terrorism, identity theft, impersonation, what Ndanu likes, phishing. Let's talk about that. Computer fraud, maybe disclosure of passcodes, anything, any offense, anything that can be detrimental to another with the use of a computer. That act criminalized it.
Yes.
The act also required service providers like your telephone service provider, your insurance provider, to assist in investigation of these offenses. For example, like if there's data that is supposed to be collected by investigation officers, your employer or your service provider was supposed to help. The third thing is, with the offenses, it brought heavy penalties for the computer misuse. So it kind of established the initial framework of what cybercrimes were, and secondly, it attached penalties to the misuse of computers and any data that is attached to a computer.
Okay.
Capish?
Yes.
Fast forward to 2025, when our father of democracy passed on, and the president decided that that was a good day for him to sign bills into law, among them the controversial Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. I don't know what you think about that law. Do you think it's a law that, the amendment is a law that is ahead of its time? Do you think it's coming at the right time, or do you think it's kind of like coming in too late?
Wow. Hey, that is an interesting question. Okay. So I think the law is coming in probably at the right time, because we've had an increase in cyber crime incidents in Kenya. We've got a lot of cyber criminals in the country, and there's a lot that's happening both in the space of cybercrime and money laundering in Kenya. So it's a timely act, but the caveat is the spirit. Let me sound like my learned friends here. The spirit behind it is what is questionable. Yeah, because there are certain areas that seem like the government wants to overstep. And how they are likely to overstep is taking advantage of ambiguity in the act. So, and one of the things I think in Kenya is we have very learned people, and Kenya is one of the countries where tech is ahead of its time in Africa.
It is, yes.
In Africa, we are among the leading in terms of tech. So you can't tell me you did not have enough experts in tech law to help you draft this legislation. Exactly.
I think for me, it's because of that last part that you said, I've kind of felt like most of what the president was trying to do was trying to play catch up with what the director of public prosecutions was already doing. So they were trying to legitimize some of those arrests, some of those censures, some of those quote unquote checks on violations that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution and the police had already done. So I think they were looking for, yes, it's timely, but for the most part, to me, it felt like they were looking for an avenue to kind of legitimize the areas of human rights law that are ambiguous, that you're like, but is that really a violation? So I think they brought that law to try and fill in that gap. The unfortunate part is it was drafted very quickly, and I think haphazardly. And I don't know the MP that put the motion to Parliament. I don't think they were very keen with the drafting. And I think that's why it's been met with a lot of public backlash. And in case you guys don't know, there's already a temporary order by the High Court suspending its application until the case is heard and determined. Yeah.
And I think that makes a lot of sense because we had, especially in the 2025, when we were leading up to the 2025 Finance Act, there was the lady who was arrested because she created a platform where people could give their feedback on the finance bill. And you see, that is not a bad thing. Ideally, we should, even for the Parliament and the government, that should be a good thing.
It should.
Yes. And such people, you should actually be asking them to help you improve your processes. Digitization. Help them, ask them, how can we reach more people?
How can we be better at
Exactly. So what you're saying is actually true. They seem to want to legitimize some of the crimes against humanity that they were already doing and violations of the law during those arrests. It makes sense. It looks like they're trying to legitimize some of those activities they did at that time.
Okay, good. Maybe we can take a closer look at what is it that the law that law introduces that we need to know, and then we can go into what are the violations, the perceived constitutional and human rights violations that the Law Society of Kenya and the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights are calling out in the legislation.
Okay.
For a start, one of the things that I liked about it is it introduced penalties for SIM swaps. So if you swap my SIM card and it's noticed that you umenichangia SIM card na unaitumia for your own benefit, it introduced a penalty for that. This is something that the initial Cybercrimes and Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act did not address. So for me, this looked like it was a bit progressive.
Yes.
Secondly, the second thing is it amended the issue of cyber harassment to include a more grave and serious offense for situations where I cyberbully you to the extent that you commit suicide.
Yes.
This again is something that was not addressed by the initial act. So if you cyberbully me, which is what Kenyans on TikTok, if you cyber harass or cyberbully a person and it ends up fatal, I think it introduced a harsher penalty to that.
I think that's something people need to know and keep in mind, because especially on X and a bit on TikTok, there's been a lot of cyberbullying. And a lot of times people hide behind pseudo accounts thinking they can't be traced.
But
your IP address can be traced by DCI, by the way.
And even, it's not even just, maybe it's the IP address. I don't know. But also there's a way that they use your phone number. The DCI uses your phone number if it's switched on to trace where you are.
Yes.
So if we find you and you're those interesting people that put their numbers on X, on Facebook,
we'll catch
on
you.
Instagram, they're going to catch up with you and you're going to get arrested.
I think probably one of the things that the new act or the amendment has done is expansion of some definitions. So you have definitions like asset. So now asset now also includes virtual assets as well. Yes. So that means that besides movable and immovable property, physical and virtual assets also. So basically now the virtual assets also come into play. Yes.
I think when you look at that also, the term access is widened to include entry into a computer system through a program or a device. So this acknowledges that there are different ways that you could enter into a technological device apart from just logging in.
True. Yes. Then computer misuse is then defined as the unauthorized use modification, or access to a computer system, program, or data. Yes. So when in the event that you're caught on the wrong side of the law, remember that computer misuse means that it's the unauthorized use, modification, or access to a computer system, program, or data. Then on top of that, a cybercrime is an offense committed through the use of information and communication technology to target networks, systems, data, websites, or technology to facilitate a crime. Yes. So those are the two definitions so there's computer misuse and there's also cybercrime. Yeah.
I think the other thing that the Act does is, and under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, there's a body called the National Computer and Cybercrimes Coordination Committee.
Yes.
Feels a bit like a tongue twister. So this committee, this committee has different mandates, but the mandate of this this committee has been extended. One of the things is they're able to issue directives that make websites or applications inaccessible if they allow unlawful activities to go on this website.
Yeah.
Case in point, what you're talking about. Again, why we're saying it was playing catch up. The website that the lady came up with to challenge the finance bill.
Yes.
So they go ahead to direct our attention to some of the websites that would be prohibited or be blocked by the committee. Of course, sexually explicit content involving minors, content advocating for terrorism, religious extremism, cultism.
Yes.
And then it goes, I think the Amendment Act goes further to say, for these websites to be blocked, there has to be prior proof so that the directive is issued for the website to be blocked. But then again, look at it from the fact that this is Kenya. So we are looking at this from a very book-based lens.
Yes.
If you look at it from a more practical lens, it will be national. The committee has said, we close your website is closed down.
Yes.
Yeah.
The courts will basically be doing ratification of what the NC4 have said. Yeah. Okay. So basically what you're saying is that the National Computer and Cybercrimes Coordination Committee, NC4, has been given now more powers. Yeah. To block any websites that they believe
Are harmful. Yes.
Okay. That's an interesting area to note. I don't know what you think of that. Do you know the composition of the NC4?
Okay. When she says NC4, she means the National Computer and Cybercrimes Coordination Committee. Capish?
Yes.
Good. So the committee, first of all, is established under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. That is where it derives its legitimacy.
Yes.
The membership of it has the principal secretary of the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. That is the person that will chair the committee. Then there's the principal secretary of the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Technology. Then there's the Attorney General, high lawyers. Then there's the chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. Then there's the Inspector General of the National Police Service, the IG.
Yes.
Then there's the Director General of the National Intelligence Service. Are you hearing the people that are on this committee? Do they sound to you like they'll not issue that directive?
Fire, see fire.
Moto, see moto. Then there's the Director General of Communication Authority of Kenya. Then there's the Director of Public Prosecution, high lawyers again. Then there's the Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. Then there's the Director of the NC4 Secretariat himself. Then last but not least, Ndanu's favorite person, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. Hala. So those are the mandatory members. There are 5 co-opted members. These ones, they can or cannot be in the committee.
Yes.
Do you want to guess who it is? The Kenya Revenue Authority, The Financial Reporting Center, I think the Financial Reporting Center should not be it's a more important.
I know, right? Because we've just come from saying there's a correlation between cybercrimes and money laundering in Kenya.
Yeah. I think they should be higher on this list.
Exactly.
Then there's the National Cohesion and Integration Commission.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the ICT Authority.
Yeah.
Even this person should be high up the list.
Exactly.
Then there's the Asset Recovery Agency. So it's a broad and large committee. I was telling you, I don't know if you know, there's a time that I don't know if it's the committee that was sued or the ministry for not having the 2/3 gender rule, observing the 2/3 gender rule in this committee. I can't remember how the case went, but I remember seeing something like that online. But that is the composition of the committee, to answer your question.
Okay. I think that's fine. Thank you, Mihala, for that. So when she talks about the decisions that are going to be made by the NC4, then it's good to just know who are these members of the NC4 and what they can be able to do, or the decisions that they have been given the powers to make.
I think one of the other things, as we talk about the NC4 and being allowed to issue directives to remove content, in case someone has been accused of a cybercrime, and they've been taken to court. The Amendment Act also grants courts the authority to issue additional orders in cases involving, if you have some harmful content online, they might direct you to take it out, or direct the committee to probably give a directive to take it out or to block the account. So this is one of the other things one of the other amendments that are brought about by this act. Yes. Okay. So it might be, they might order taking down your account, deactivation, even the court might order deactivation of your account, maybe just taking out of that content. I am tempted to think they might probably ban you from a social media platform.
Yes.
If my understanding of this is right.
Okay. So one of the things that the Amendment Act introduces is the critical information infrastructure. These are basically systems that need stronger protection from cyber threats. I would tie it in with the Data Protection Act, which talks about sensitive personal information. So probably systems that carry sensitive information are what would be classified as critical information infrastructure. So, for example, looking at telcos, banking, such sectors, their systems or IT systems are probably what would be classified as critical information infrastructure. Yes. So basically, the committee, the NC4, will also provide technical assistance to mitigate cyber threats around this critical information infrastructure. Okay. Any other change that you probably want to highlight?
I think what we have highlighted for the purposes of this video is sufficient. Maybe what we should go into is why the controversy around the new act.
Yes.
And I would start by saying, I like the fact that Kenyans are propagandists. I like the fact that it's very hard for something to pass, tupitangi hivi kwa macho, like inakujanga hivi, and then we have to comment.
Yes.
And I like the fact that we always take the extreme tangent to say, we are not accepting.
We are not boarding.
We are not boarding. And go like, you took advantage of the death of the father of democracy.
Yes.
You know? But when you look at how this law was haphazardly and quickly thrown into force, you start to question how even our other laws are thought through and enacted. When you look at the petition that was filed by the Kenya National Human Rights Commission and Reuben Kigame, God bless his heart. I did not think in this life that he'd become an activist.
I know.
Right?
From
Just
a
used to sing
gospel
like his
artist.
song, like, you
Yeah.
know, in his suit. And
Yes.
yeah, I did not think that he'd become an activist. From the petition that they filed, you can see that they've listed a lot of constitutional articles. And maybe I can quickly go through the rights under the Constitution that they say are violated because of the enactment of this act and why.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is violation of Article 31.
Mm-hmm.
Article 31 is the right to privacy. So the enactment of this act is a violation of the right to privacy. And why do the civil rights societies and lawyers think it's a violation of the right to privacy? It's because of how the act is worded,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of intrudes on people's private affairs. It
Yeah.
says you can see my website, get into it, and block me. So that gets into the realm of what could otherwise be private data for some people.
Yes.
Another thing that when you talk about the right to privacy is when you look at the Data Protection Act,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of violates the fairness and lawfulness under Section 25,
Yes.
which is about the processing of highly sensitive data, personal data.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're processing highly sensitive data, there are some compulsory conditions that you need to fulfill.
Yeah.
But just saying you can get in and look for what you want and remove,
Yeah.
I think that's also a problem.
Mm.
There's also the concept of data minimization. If you start saying the NC4 can get into websites and access,
Yes.
why are they, first of all, under who gives the consent for them to get into that data? Secondly, what is it being used for? And what is it that they are looking for in that particular data?
Okay.
So for starters, I think that is one of the violations that came out very, very clearly.
Mm.
I don't know if you have any comments on Article 31.
Remind me what Article 31 says.
Right to privacy.
Oh, right.
And
to
data
privacy.
protection laws.
And data protection laws. Okay. Just a minute. So on that, looking at privacy risks, I think one of the issues that a lot of the activists were raising is on the mass surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what they are worried about is the law enforcement could now use social media as a tool for mass surveillance in Kenya, particularly with the powers that now this act gives the NC4. Yeah, so now with this act, people are becoming scared, especially looking at what is happening in other African countries and how their governments seem to be silencing social media activism. Yes. So I think that is one of the challenges that may come with the enactment of the amendments. Yeah. So probably Kenyans would become walk on eggshells on social media. Yeah. And also there's the issue of the act gives or requires internet service providers to keep logs of their subscribers. Now, as we had mentioned when we started this episode, there's a lot of ambiguity in this act. So when we say that internet service providers are supposed to keep logs of their subscribers and their users and the traffic on their platforms, we'd need to know what kind of data is the government expecting them to retain.
Yes.
Is the government expecting them to retain what I am browsing?
Which probably is.
Yes.
Because if you talk about the fact that I can shut down a site.
Yes. So probably does that mean that now the government can be able to check if I've subscribed to X fiber company? So they can come and say, I want to see the logs of the sites that people in Danu's house are
looking at.
Exactly.
I think that is precisely what it's supposed to do.
Exactly. And now that violates our
right to privacy.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I think as you speak about, I heard you speak a little bit about like Kenyans will walk on eggshells on social media. And that brings us to violation of Article 33.
Yes.
Article 33 is with regards to freedom of expression. One of the first things that we spoke about when we were starting this episode is parts of that law are ambiguous and they're not very clear.
Yes.
So one of the things that the Kenya National Human Rights Commission was saying is the provisions that deal with false, misleading, or mischievous information, they are vague.
Yes.
So false and misleading can range to me calling Ndanu a cat to, that's false and misleading. Yeah.
Because Ndanu is not a cat.
Because Ndanu is not a cat.
True.
To extreme issues. So what is there in between is what the civil rights societies are feeling that is what will be misused to silence Kenyans.
Yeah.
Because we have not come out clearly to tell you this is what we mean by false, misleading, and mischievous information. We are opening a Pandora's box. Anything can be false, mischievous, and misleading.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then looking at that, it also then touching on what I had mentioned earlier, if Kenyans are going to be walking on eggshells, then it curtails the freedom of expression. Yes. So that means that since you don't want to find yourself on the wrong side of the law, you'd rather keep quiet.
You'd rather not say anything.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the freedom of expression then now is curtailed. The way KOT is famous across the world.
KOX now.
Oh, KOX now. That means that that form of freedom
is going to go down.
Yes. Yes. And that sort of suppression of free speech online could also have an adverse effect on democracy the long run. Yeah.
It does. Because one of the things that Kenyans pride themselves on is the ability to express themselves freely on the internet. Sometimes we take it a notch higher and become bullies. And people on the internet say you are much safer with Kenyans fighting your online war than anyone else.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show how much freedom of expression we have. And bringing in a law like this with ambiguities then waters that down.
Yes.
Maybe the other thing that it looks to curtail is freedom of the media. And how does this come in? Remember, we spoke about they can take down websites, they can take down content, they can take down data, like whatever it is that they feel like is dangerous to society, they'll remove.
Yes.
So for the civil rights societies, they thought this is a preemptive way to censor them. Like, we've not even put the content up. You're already telling us you're going to take it down. So I think what goes into this freedom of media is there has to be reasonable limitation to what is being curtailed. Because tomorrow I will open a news channel. Maybe one of my hosts will say something that does not go well with the government.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow you hear that is misleading and false, and it's shut down.
And that is shut down by the NC4.
Yes.
Because you remember, during the 2025 maandamanos, the media houses were told to stop streaming.
Yes.
What is happening
by
the Communications Authority. But digital platforms could continue broadcasting because they probably don't fall under the purview of the Communications Authority of Kenya.
But now
this
one is going to
Yes.
This one is going to put that into.
Okay.
The next right is it curtails the right to fair administrative action. The right to fair administrative action basically is anything that is done by law enforcement. For example, court is supposed to be done in a lawful and procedural way.
Yes.
So it basically encompasses things like right to fair hearing, like, right to be treated well, maybe by government officers. Now, the thing about, I remember when we were talking about the NC4, you looked at the composition of the NC4.
Yes.
It has the defense forces, it has the police, it has the communications authority, it has the Ministry of Interior. So these are bigwigs. When you look at a situation where these are the people that are supposed to control the narrative around what cybercrimes is, this then puts them into a place where they can act unpredictably unlawfully. For example, let's take a good example of the alleged violations during the Gen Z Maandamano and even the Maandamano of 2025 and how many people are getting killed in the hands of the police. Now imagine transferring that into the purview of private websites and data and cybercrimes.
Yeah.
So the level with which that force will be affected, if you look at the composition of the NC4, is just thinking about it. It's a barrage of human rights violations waiting to happen. So there'll be nothing that will... In fact, if you're saying you can give a directive to shut things down, things will be shut down every day.
Yes.
There will be no procedure, no nothing to it. They'll be like, act imesema. And then they go and violate the right to fair administrative action.
Okay. So when we are looking at that, probably another thing that this act may violate, or the contention that the human rights activists have brought about, is with the ambiguity of the act. This may also mean that the government when they are prosecuting you based on this act, the legislative process also, there's a challenge. Yes, because you find according to who is whatever I said is online.
Is it according to offensive? Yes. Who's the complainant?
Exactly. Yeah. Who's the complainant? Who did I offend? Yeah. And what impact did whatever I said
have on that person?
Exactly. Before they took me to court.
I used to have a let me call him a mentor, a legal mentor, who used to say, if you charge someone for a criminal offense, you should be able to take them to civil court for retribution. So if you go to civil court, it's Ndanu versus Mihala.
Yes.
Or Marvin versus Mihala, because I am the one who felt hurt. In this instance, then, if you are saying, okay, I have someone has some right to some sort of damage, who is suing? If the NC4 is the one that is determining, then who is suing? Who is getting that retribution?
Yes.
And I can see the lacuna that you're trying to put across.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think while we are still on that, then that means that part of it then would offend the right to fair hearing. Because remember, the act is empowering me as the NC4 to issue a directive to take down websites.
Yes.
But remember, we have a right to fair hearing and right to fair administrative action in the judiciary, or in Kenya, basically. So again, what's the standard? What is that standard that you are holding me to? To say what you've posted online or on this is illegal and the content should be taken down. Yes. I like the part of 46A where it says there could be a court order directing that you take that information out. That looks like a well thought through legislation. Yes. But just saying the NC4 can now say remove. And you know, when you're talking about that, the way I conceptualize it, I'm thinking, and I'm sorry to use him as an example, I'm thinking like Murkomen will call you and say, take that post down. And this is like the Minister for Interior, like the Cabinet Secretary.
Yeah.
Tell me you'll not feel threatened.
Oh, of course.
Or the IG of police calls you and says, take that post down.
Or we're going to strike
your account. Your account. Like, take that. You know, this is how I'm perceiving it. Maybe they have a process to it.
Yeah.
But you imagine all these government agencies with all the government force behind them asking you to take a post down. It would much rather come from a court order. You'd be like, okay.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. And even during the 2024 protests, a lot of social media influencers were saying that the challenge with social media is if people make complaints against them when they are doing social media activism and they get strikes, that means they probably won't be able to access their account for a certain period of time, or they'll be unable to do lives or certain things, then that reduces their income. So what the government probably is trying to do here is to disincentivize people from doing social media activism. Yes. They want to make it very difficult for you, because I'll probably, let's say, like for us as podcasters, if we know our YouTube channel is going to get a strike when we speak up against the government, we are likely to stop. You're likely to keep quiet and say, no. Well, now let's just focus on vanilla topics.
Wacha tu tuongele tu.
We come here.
How to cook ugali.
Yeah. Hi, Mihala, have you been? We do some udaku and we move on. And even the udaku, by the way,
it has to be very clean.
Exactly.
It has to be very vanilla udaku.
Yeah. So also that's going to, I think, for what are they called? Gossip sites are also going to be affected by this act. Yes.
One of the people that got a strike almost the same time that I did, though the reasons for my strike were much minor, hers were major, is Wanjiku Stevens. I don't know if you know Wanjiku Stevens.
I'm not sure. I don't think.
She put up some content around the time that contraception was supposed to be introduced in Kenya by you know who, and she was just like, this foundation is bad, they do this and they do, and she was censored, and I think she lost her account, and I don't think she's recovered it. I think she had to start her account again, and I think she was at hundreds of thousands of followers.
What?
Yes. Her account was, now she's big. I think it made her angry. She's now come back as a worse activist. But
they poked the bear.
They poked the bear. But I think there is a place for proper social media activists. Today we were speaking about Lynn Ngugi.
Yes.
And I like her. I like what her channel has become. It's more from this channel where I used to hear sob stories to where there's extreme knowledge, like extreme activism.
I love it.
And I love her for that.
Yes.
Like when you go to Lynn Ngugi's page, you know you're about to get schooled on some human rights.
Exactly.
She's doing way better than most of us that studied law, most of us that know a lot more about human rights. And I usually say we know this government is doing badly because we made Lynn Ngugi an activist.
Imagine.
She is so unproblematic. The other person that I have liked the trajectory of her posts on X is Mashirima Kapombe. Like,
she's like,
sometimes I'm like,
Mashirima.
Like, but even her, she's one of those calm people. And when you see such people now becoming activists, you now start to get the place of social media activism. Another good example that I would hate to be censored is Larry Madowo. Larry Madowo, I think, injects with a big needle. Larry Madowo injects like there is no injection that is yake ni ya penicillin.
Him is like, you know what? Zaidi, another one. So as we come to a close of this topic, maybe we can go quickly through 2 or 3 recommendations that we think would have bettered the adoption of the Cybercrimes, Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Amendment Act of 2025, even though it's something that we should probably be speaking very less about because it's an active matter in court. Maybe we can talk about the recommendations. Okay. So I think one of the things that the government should have done, one is to deal with the ambiguity in the law. So take a bit more time, do public participation, bring in tech lawyers, people with experience in the cybercrime space to give more feedback on it, and then now create a law that's more holistic and that's easier to legislate or whatever. So I think that's one of the things I would say should have been done before this law was signed, or the bill was signed into law. Yeah.
as you speak about that, and that's a good point, because the fact that this law is so ambiguous opens it up to misinformation.
Yes.
And I think one of the most dangerous things is misinformation, because misinformation spreads faster than the actual. They usually say a lie can do what? Well, the truth is still wearing its shoes.
Yes, it can spread fast when it's true.
So just by the mere fact that the misinformation has spread so far and so wide and so fast should be an indication to the Kenyan government that this was not done right. I think one of the most important principles that our constitution gives us is the principle of public participation.
Yes.
And some of these ambiguities can be solved by mere conversations. And most of the people that are using the internet, by the way, are not the internet and computers, are not those people that are sitting in parliament dozing.
Yes.
It's the Gen Z that are on their phone every day. It's the millennials that are at work every day. All you had to do was open a portal and say, this is what we're looking to legislate. What do you agree with? What don't you agree with?
Yes.
There will always be that Index 1 student that will do the homework for you. All you need to do is just consolidate.
Yeah.
So I think what we lacked was a proper constructive engagement. To just say, this is what we are looking to.
Yes.
What are your views? And even when that bill was, before it even went to parliament or anywhere, where did we participate in it?
Yes.
Where did we, even if there was participation, who knew about it?
Not many people knew about it. Yeah. I think probably something we need to talk about is the impact this act would have on innovation. We've talked about fear, the fear that's going to be, or that's likely to come from this act. So one of the things that legislators need to remember is when you're coming up with laws and regulations, you need to ensure that it does not curtail innovation.
Yes.
Because as you know, Kenyans are early adopters. We are the highest users of ChatGPT. We come up with very innovative solutions. Like in fintech, we were the ones who developed mobile money. So when you come up with laws that are going to bring about fear, then it curtails innovation. So the thing that probably the Communications Authority of Kenya, the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology, ICT, should be doing is looking at, even as we are creating laws and regulations, how do we ensure that these laws allow people to continue being innovative? Yes. That we don't curtail the innovation space in Kenya.
And I think the only way we can do that is if we create laws, not as a reactive measure, but as a proactive measure. Yeah. Because when you look at my analysis of this law, it was more reactive. It was more, I do not want people to post this online. Yeah. Therefore, I am going to enact a law that is going to stop them from posting this online.
Exactly.
Instead of saying, okay, we're already at this place where people are posting A, B, C, D online. What is the best way to regulate whatever it is that they are posting online without necessarily making them feel like nimekanyaga shingo? So I don't know. It escapes me what goes on in the minds of people who propose and second these legislations, because I'm like, if we've sent you to parliament, your job is to sit down, think about, draft, and come up with a law. Surely, why are you coming up with a shoddy law?
I know. But sometimes you wonder, do they actually read whatever they're passing?
Compose yourself and read.
Yeah. Okay, so that has been quite a nerdy episode.
I know.
I hope you enjoy listening to us. This is a knowledge platform, and we like people to know and understand the laws and regulations in Kenya. And that's why we keep bringing you such information, dissecting various laws and regulations that have come up or areas that you'd like us to get into. So to support our channel, please subscribe. Yeah. That's all we're asking.
Just subscribe.
Yeah, just subscribe.
Hata hatuombi kitu ingine.
Unaona hata hatuna till number.
We don't even have a till number. Just subscribe.
Yes. So if you've not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, on our social media pages at The Rundown KE. And on my personal pages, I'm Danun Zuko.
On my personal pages, I am Mihala Barasa. Please do not forget to put the notification bell on.
Yes.
So that anytime we surprise you with a new episode, Ukorada. This is a big shout out to our child, Yvette. Yvette, come close.
Oh, yes.
Come
She's
close.
very
Thank you so much for listening to our channel. Thank you for being active. I got a message from her a few days ago and she said there's no episode she enjoyed more than the one we did on office politics.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she said that's her favorite episode.
Thank you.
We love that our viewership is growing. Help us. Get us to tunataka tu hata 1,000. We're not even asking for much. Just 1,000 subscribers ni kitu ya kukata kutupatia. Anyway,
share with your friends,
share with
your colleagues,
friends,
your family,
your church members.
Yes.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And until we see you next time,
Bye.